Gods and goddesses, your plays have been viewed and the top 5 selected. I'm Inuki. Let's go to the holy battlefields. We'll start with Penny and Eriksson as Ymir and Poseidon, both mage representatives of Team Blue tasked to zone the enemy. Sobek goes on a solo adventure in search for treasure when Ymir frost breaths 4 targets, an opportunity for shards of ice. Poseidon's Kraken hopes to knock the enemy up in the air just before the freeze ends. Guan Yu escapes and Ra shields the damage with an Aegis. Remarkably, Neith survives and only Kali perishes. Team Red is too much at a disadvantage to continue any engagement though. Team Blue do get the deicide with no casualties of their own. What made this engagement extremely one-sided was the huge splash damage. Ymir even saved his wall to exactly when he needed it, cutting off the tank's retreat path and ending the game. Emilito demonstrates his hate against all 4 players. Low health in his tower, 4 goes in for the Thunder Dunk, but Emmy jumps skyward, landing the knockup and impale against 4. Anher then ruffles all the way back to his fountain. It all happened so quickly, a fast and furious play, which, if you're having a bad day like this 4 did, should cheer you up. 4 may not have gotten his sprinkle of kittens this time round, but perhaps one of these days, he'll be in the top 5 plays. Baelor Wish as Agni arrives late on the scene for a right lane gank. This Usain Bolt of a flame dash past the tectonic shifting wall 4 place down is topped off with a last microsecond Aegis against Spirit's Tempest. I'm not sure what this is or does, but I know it must be impressive as nobody I know can do it. Once Baelor Wish comes back from the lands of the Tipsy, he still has a final escape measure. The cruise missile Sobek is nullified with the Purification Bead's countermeasures. This play deserves extra slow motion. You can see Agni only just dashes past that wall, where he then rains a Fire Blast on 4. A robotically timed Aegis and a second Fire Blast later makes this trip from middle lane fully worthwhile. Sobek just has too much butter on his fingers, and with that, Baelor Wish lags away. Warboy the Warboy with his Odin friend are hanging out in mid lane against the aggressive Poseidon and Nazat. Ra understands the concept of retreating, but sometimes the best plays involve working around the maniacs you're forced to call a team. Odin here baits Warboy on his own team to come fight as he gets utterly decimated by that flame spear. The Kraken chews Odin up and spits the Ravens out as Ra is knocked into the jungle. It's looking bleak for Ra in a 2v1 situation when suddenly Warboy brings out his secret technique, the Kamehameha. Nazar's face is yet to melt though, but is quite happy to step in Ra's solar blessing. At least Poseidon went out with dignity. I'm loving the visuals of this delicate dodge, but the highlight of this play is getting away with 2 kills that just shouldn't have happened. By concentrating all his energy into searing pain to amplify a short burst of damage, Warboy gets 2nd place in this week's top 5, whilst Nazar and Poseidon get what looks to be a top funeral. Funball with little sympathy break out the level 4 battles with Anher and Odin. Opposite them, a baby with a bow and a lizard with an axe. Odin and Anher column formation, meaning that Sobek can only throw Odin. He lands Hand of the Gods, the archers jump backs with an extra hard clearing more minions. Now we get to the awesome part. Anher creates the infrastructure for a prison with his shifting sands obelisk. When Sobek aegises, the 2 use a box formation and reel this fishy in. Odin barely escapes, but it's not enough for the bloodthirsty Funball. He needs to maul the face off the last survivor and gets it. Generally, blocking is rather crude and barely contributes to the kill. But this block is the kill, and it could only ever happen in the Smite battlefields. The rubbing of fur, flesh, and scales turns into a fatal freeway for that sandlicker Sobek. Cupid even threw a heart which perfectly landed on Sobek, but the Aegis negated the heal. This play gets #1 spot this week because it demonstrates fighting without ultimates, faster reactions, and simultaneous wave clearing preventing minion damage. Teamwork from both parties and the use of an obelisk to create a tiny sand prison for Sobek makes this remarkable. We want to see more epic plays though, and we need you to send them in. Come dine with me next week. I'm Inuki. I'm going into the jungle. Play for free at smitegame.com.